And ladies and gentlemen, pleasant good morning and welcome to Jai-Alai H2H. It's usually Stu on the mic here this morning, so you figure something may be going on. But it is Andrew Bleckman here to start off your Monday of Jai-Alai action. And we do have a couple changes to note for today. So obviously we pushed it back yesterday. If you joined us for that 1 p.m. performance, we pushed it back to 11 a.m. today, dealing with a couple of injuries in this group too. We already had Bradley out. We already had Bueno dealing with some injuries as well. And for the sake of keeping everyone healthy and getting them up and active for this pari-mutuel performance, because we got 4 more through the remainder of the week, all of the matches here today will actually end up being forfeited. So we appreciate everyone that came in here to tune in here at 11 a.m., but for the sake of the roster here in a long season, 6 months ahead of us of Jai-Alai action for today, this Group 2, all these matches will end up being forfeited. So it's going to be a win for Kubala by forfeit, win for Ben by forfeit, a win for Anderluck by forfeit, Kubala again, then Ben by forfeit, and Anderluck once again. So all 6 matches here will not be played if you are tuning in just now. But what we will have for you, we'll have some Jai-Alai content. When we get Stu out back here, we'll be doing a little H2H scoop episode for you, just talking a little bit about the action, what to expect coming up, preview group number 3, preview some of that doubles action, just get you up to date on everything that has been going on here with that to begin. So again, we will not be playing any of those matches here this morning for Jai-Alai H2H. We came in here at 11 a.m. We will be back for those 2 pari-mutuel performances at 1 and 4:30 today. 8-game performances here going out after today. So we'll pull up these H2H standings, remind you of what exactly has gone on here through the first week of singles and then 2 weeks of that doubles action. So we saw group number 1 in the singles action last week. Some great matches that we saw. Benny versus Carballo started it off, a 6-0 set victory for Carballo. And then Benny, 6-1 set number 2, came down to that final set where Benny actually upset Carballo there, taking out the U.S. National Jai-Alai Championship finalist from Magic City there. So Benny, the 17-year-old, getting it done, taking that first win. You had Ron defeating Spinner in straight sets. Coming back there, match number 3, a Julian-Ikeda battle that was just another terrific matchup there, with Julian ended up winning the final 2 sets of that match to win. Spinner versus Carballo came up next. Carballo, he figured he was a little bit upset after giving away that first one against Benny, came back defeating Spinner in straight sets. Ron defeated Ikeda. That one went to a 3rd as well. Ron has only been taken to a 3rd set there by Carballo in that short season, but Ron got a battle in that first match, ended up winning set number 2 6-5, comes back defeating Ikeda in set number 3 6-3. So he is 2-0 through his first 2 matches. And the final one for group number 1 last Monday, we're recapping the action of last Monday here, Benny versus Julian. Julian won the first set. Benny came back, won set number 2 as he did in that first one, but it was Julian that ended up taking set number 3. So Julian up at 2-0, Ron up at 2-0, Carballo 1-1, Benny 1-1, and we have Spinner there at 0-2 to begin here for this group number 1. And on the flip side of that, we're looking at some H2H doubles action. We're through 2 weeks of the doubles here. Dealing with some forfeits with that as well. The last time we were out here, we had Diaz and Douglas getting a win by forfeit. Cool Fitness and Spinner win by forfeit. Carballo and Tennessee also the same there. We did have a couple of matches that were just terrific, though. We had that Kubala and Benny versus Anderluck and Vloa. That was a weird match. It started off 6-0 for Kubala and Benny, then Anderluck and Vloa. You thought they were down and out, came back 6-5, and then Kubala and Benny winning set number 3 6-0 there. Carballo and Tennessee versus Ikeda and El Barba was the last match we had there on that Saturday just a few days ago. And Ikeda and El Barba winning that one in straight sets, 6-5, 6-4. The score not indicative of really how close that was. Didn't go to a 3rd set, but very balanced play amongst 2 of the top doubles teams we have competing here. And then Jedden and Julian getting it done once again, 6-1, 6-1 over Anderluck and Vuelo. that will be a team that started off slow in those pari-mutuel games and one to look out for here through the remainder of that doubles tournament. And some questions rolling in here. Obviously taking a look at that live chat. It's up with us here. Worrying about fantasy highlight scores rolling. We'll get those up there for you. I think it was an excuse there, having to wait to put up those points, but no, that was real. There was an issue with the website. Weren't able to input those points correctly. So we're just waiting on that. Make sure everything with the site is okay. We'll get those up for you as soon as we have them for you all. So if you're just joining us here, there will not be any Jai-Alai H2H action here today. Dealing with those injuries here in group number 2. Long season ahead of us here, 6 more months of Jai-Alai. We're starting here in the beginning of May, going up to the end of November. So a long time to go here for these guys, and already starting off with some injuries in the short season. So don't want those to be lingering throughout the end. A lot in store for this 2021 Magic City Jai-Alai season. A lot of great competitive battles down the line, and you hate for it to come down to an injury like that. So the case here today, we will not be playing any of these H2H matches, but of course we will be back with those 2 pari-mutuel performances, 8-game performances here for you all, starting at 1 p.m. and then followed by that 4:30 p.m. start. So I know Tennessee's here. Said the one guy that could keep us entertained here. Maybe we'll get Tennessee to throw some pitches out there for you all. But he brought donuts in, and I gotta say, came up to me and he said, "Andrew, would you like me to put some brake fluid in your car?" And I was like, what are you talking about, Tennessee? Might as well rotate my tires while you're at it. Give me an oil change. So got to give him the keys. I know he's willing to help out early here, so I'm sure that he would go out there, throw some pitches, see if we can get anybody out here on this court to make it a little more entertaining. But we'll just have a little bit of scoop here, talk about the H2H action and what the deal is with that here for the remainder of 2021. We'll preview those next doubles matches here because we'll not be playing today. So the next time you're going to have H2H will be on Saturday, 1 p.m. start. That'll be before that 4 p.m. performance. You're going to have some great matchups there. You got Diaz and Douglas versus Kubala and Benny. So you're going to have the brothers facing off in doubles action. A little bit different than maybe the first couple times they played it in those pari-mutuel games. Benny versus Douglas there in the backcourt. They played some great points over the course of these past few doubles games, just rallying back and forth with each other. It's great to see those two guys out there having fun, playing good Jai-Alai too, and really the future of the sport here, those two brothers. So that'll be a great matchup for you all. You have the short season singles champions taking on Douglas, who has won all there is to win in the doubles department here at Magic City to begin his young career. Following that one, you're going to have Cool Fitness and Spinner versus Ikeda and El Barba. Cool Fitness and Spinner, that team is off to a blazing hot start. Cool Fitness and Spinner, they're up with 5 wins in those pari-mutuel games. Ikeda and El Barba, they're up there too. Multiple wins for that team in doubles as well. They took out Carballo and Tennessee, one of the top doubles teams here. They have a couple good wins on their resume already, taking out Kubala and Benny as well. So those two teams are going to be a threat there, but Ikeda and El Barba have handled them, and El Barba was just terrific in that doubles as well. So if he can play in the front court like that, that is going to be a difficult team to beat. You got Bueno and Ben there scheduled to go against Jed and Julian. Bueno dealing with that shoulder injury, hoping to get Bueno back here. Maybe at the end of next week, perhaps. Don't know if he's going to be able to make it there, nursing that injury. But obviously, the main goal here is getting everybody healthy for this long run here that we got going through the end of November. So, if not, Andrew Luck and Vlo will fill in for that team, and they'll be facing off against Jed and Julian once again. And that substitute team playing Jed and Julian. CRB and Bradley. Looks like Bradley will be out again, dealing with that back injury in a couple weeks. They'll be scheduled to face against Kubala and Benny. We'll see if that match ends up happening there. Perhaps Andreluk and Volo will fill in again as a substitute team. And then Ikeda and El Barba, Bueno and Ben. Oh boy, we'll see that again. And then Carballo and Tennessee against Juice and Ron will be the last match there. So hoping to get some guys healthy playing those matches there on that Saturday of H2H. It'll be coming up. And then the next time you're going to be looking at singles, that's going to be group number 3. 6 guys in group number 3 here. CRB, Juice, Tennessee, Vuelo, Cool Fitness, and El Barba. El Barba has lost a match in H2H, but that was on the final day where he had everything locked up. So, when the stakes are high and he needed to win those matches, El Barba has yet to really drop a meaningful match in this H2H, although that record does show that one blemish up there. CRB improving, has struggled to begin the regular season in those first couple performances, but the fans came in here on Saturday and CRB was just a completely different player. Looked very good, got a couple wins in those pari-mutuel games as well, so see if that will carry over here into group number 3, playing CRB, another guy that started off very well and likes that H2H format there where he can stay out on each and every point. A guy that has a ton of endurance in his own performance and strength company. So you know that fatigue never going to be a problem for him and loves to play Jai-Alai. So improving each and every day. Good to see CRB back there and see how he improves here in season number 2 of H2H. They'll be facing off or scheduled to face off against Juice, hoping to get him back here. Next match will be Tennessee versus Vuelo. Tennessee, another guy, as we said, struggled mightily there to begin the short season. Tennessee looks terrific in the backcourt there with Carballo, and it looks to give him a lot of confidence in his singles play as well, where he has been a totally different player as well. He'll be scheduled to face off against Vuelo, and just an absolute wild card, Vuelo. I mean, we've seen him play very well. We've seen him play very poorly at other times. So when he's on, he can make some good throws, has a ton of power on both sides, but just a matter of if his head's in it and how much he's focused really that day. And, Tennessee's always in it, always going to give you 110%. So an interesting matchup there. Let's see how they do. Then you have Cool Fitness versus El Barba. Obviously, on paper, may look like a bit of a mismatch, but Cool Fitness, strong competitor. Always going to give you everything that he has. So see if he can handle El Barba there in that group number 3. Second set of matches there on that next Monday of Jai-Alai H2H. You're going to have Vuelo and Juice versus Vuelo versus Juice. It's going to be that next match there. Preview those guys, followed by Tennessee versus El Barba. And then the final match will be CRB versus Cool Fitness. That's going to be the full rundown of group number 3. Full match set there coming up next Monday for you all in this H2H action. We'll take a look here at the standings before we close out again. There will not be any H2H here today. If you're just tuning in, you think you may be between matches. We are not going to be playing today, dealing with a couple of injuries here in this group number 2. And main priority is getting everybody healthy out there, make sure they can go for the course of this entire season. I don't want anyone to push it there for those pari-mutuel games. Running thin on those numbers. You need 16 guys to play doubles, and we're dangerously close. So I want to make sure that everyone's all right and active and playing here for a good majority of this season when they are healthy. So we got those standings up here for you all. Full standings in Jai-Alai H2H, and Julian in that group number 1 completely flipped the script on his record there. I believe he was, I think it was 4-8 was his overall record, or 3-9 in that group number 1 in his first season. But that Julian, not a lot of experience on this short court, so you figure once he had more reps on here and figured it out, he was going to be a dynamic player, and he's proven that here early in this second season. 2-0 through his first 2 matches, and as we said, hasn't played a cupcake schedule either there. Took out Ikeda and then took out Benny, who beat Carballo. So 2 really good wins for Julian there. See if he can carry that over into the next set when group number 1 will be back out there in 2 weeks. Ron, of course, 2-0, yet to drop a match here in this format, so that'll be interesting to see what happens when he plays Douglas eventually in this group number 1. Now, Douglas not scheduled in group 1, but he will be a substitute if need be, and given the length of the season and I guess really how it started, figure that maybe he'll at least get one shot to substitute there, and you could see that can't miss action between Ron and Douglas in that format. Best 2 out of 3 sets, up to 6 points. Benny, 1-1 is his record. Carballo also at 1-1. Those two faced off, with Benny taking the victory, as we said. And then down there at the bottom, you have Ikeda that came out empty-handed, even though he played just fantastic highlights. Some of the best he's played here at Magic City, really since that national tournament, where he was awesome and taking out Douglas in that as well. So Ikeda at 0-2, and then Spinner at 0-2 as well. I mean, you got to figure their Spinner's been such a force in those pari-mutuel games, but fatigue has always been a factor, and that's a big part of Jai-Alai H2H. So maybe that Spinner, that's kind of his downfall there. See if he can figure that out headed into this second season. Only 2 games in, so plenty of time to make up for it, and given how everyone's improving, you know there's going to be a couple more in that loss column here, so you can lose a couple matches and still very much have a chance to finish in that top 3 and get some of that bonus prize money, at least a chunk of that $100,000 on the line in both singles and doubles. That's a combined total in singles and doubles for this H2H. So we're just approaching 11:15 here. We appreciate everybody that's been with us, that's tuned in here today, that joined us at 11 p.m. We will be back for that pari-mutuel performance starting at 1 p.m., 8 games for you all. And we're hoping that performance will be scratch-free here today for you all. But holding out on H2H here today for the benefit of the players' health. Make sure they're good for that performance coming up, because we got that doubles race that's a season-long doubles race. You don't want any partners to be missing out on potential games that they could be earning wins. Singles play, you want everyone to be out there and active. You want to avoid any scratches if at all possible for you guys. So we're going to close out here for this H2H. We will be back 1 p.m. as we said, 8 games, followed by that performance at 4:30 p.m. So Stu had an extra hour today, and we're going to have another extra hour here. Come back at 1 p.m. for those 8 games for you all. So goodbye till we can see you back here in about an hour and 45 minutes. Take care, everyone.